Hello, everybody. I am the Valley Viking, and today I thought we could do some scary videos. So, without further ado, we should just we should just jump into it. What the hell? Wait, what? I don't I don't understand. 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 Okay. Today, I really have been waiting to do this one. I did a small video on this last time. Not last time. I did a small video on this a while back. Very short clip. But I really have been trying to find more Skinwalker stuff. I've been really interested in hearing more stuff about them or seeing more pictures of them, or just like hearing different stories. It's really scary. Um, and it's one of the creatures that I really enjoy just learning about and hearing about. Um, I think that's really why I like that Skinwalker Ranch. I I want to believe that there's more happening there, but the more I watch, I just don't know. It's hard to say. All right. Well, let's jump into 3 videos of Skinwalkers. This first clip is by Top 5 Scary Videos, and it is the top 5 scary, terrifying Skinwalker encounters that prove they exist.
That stalks its victims to having them chase you down on the highway. Here are the top 5 terrifying Skinwalker encounters that prove that they exist. Number 5 on this list is the Orange Eyes. As a decently recent university graduate, this story is pretty triggering to me. User John shared his story of how a relaxing midnight stroll turned terrifying when he came face to face with 2 Skinwalkers. According to his chilling story, John was out late one summer night. While listening to music and enjoying the cool weather, he walked near a large empty field that was adjacent to a college campus. Suddenly, he felt something staring at him. Shining his flashlight out into the darkness, he saw 2 sets of glowing orange eyes staring back at him. The eyes were at least 7 feet off the ground and stared at him without blinking once. John made a mad dash for safety. As he was running, he turned back to see one of the creatures chasing him. John became even more frightened when he got a better glimpse of the fast-moving creature behind him. It looked like a giant wolf. Quickening his pace, John reached his home safely, but he remains fearful of the monsters he saw that night, which he believes were Skinwalkers. I titled this entry Orange Eyes because that, plus the fact that they were 7 feet off the ground, are the biggest things that stick out to me here. A wolf's eyes aren't typically bright orange. They can be a mild hue of that color, but I doubt that it was a mild hue if that's the first thing that stuck out to him in the night. Not to mention the fact that these creatures were 7 feet off the ground and how unnatural that is. Even if for some reason a wolf stood on its hind legs, it still wouldn't be that tall. Whatever
But
it was that was
dire
after
wolves.
John that evening doesn't sound like the friendliest of creatures if you ask me. He's probably pretty lucky to have made it out alive.
So, what about dire wolves? I mean, that's kind of they're big wolves and they may be extinct. I mean, I don't know. Kind of hard to say. Or a cat. That was the other thing that I was thinking. Like, what if it was a cat? What if it was just sitting on the fence, waiting and anticipating what he's going to do next? And then it ran along the fence after him. I don't know.
Number 4 on this list is the White Face. This story is especially scary because it seems like the Skinwalker is actually stalking our victim. Ranker says, "My roommate has told me this story a few times and I want to see if anyone else has had similar experiences. As he tells it, he was driving home super late at night, maybe around 3 or 4 a.m. in a suburb of Phoenix, Arizona, both times that this occurred. The first time he was driving alone on a road that has an open field to the left of it when out of nowhere a black figure on all fours, bounds up out of the field and across the road in front of his car. As soon as the figure got to the other side of the road, it stops with inhuman quickness, turns around, and looks directly at my roommate. He described the figure as looking simian, completely black except for the face. The creature's face was a stark white human face. Not white as in Caucasian, but white as snow. This happened again a few weeks later, but this time the creature was sitting in a tree. As his car approached, it climbed down the tree, again with inhuman quickness, bounded across the road, stopped on a dime, and turned around and made eye contact with him. This time he had a friend in the car who also saw it and began freaking out. It was the same exact thing as the first time, a simian black body with a snow white expressionless human face. My roommate, ever the curious one, turned the car around and began searching for the creature, but it was nowhere to be seen. What has a totally black and creature-like body, but also a white as snow pale human face? I'll answer that one for you guys. A skinwalker. Scariest part about this one, like I said earlier, is the fact that it went out of its way to find this same guy again. I find it hard to believe that he just happened to stumble upon this creature just out of coincidence. I think it's far more likely that the creature was looking out for this guy and putting itself into spots that it might run into him. Really not a pleasant thought if you think about it.
I think with skinwalkers, I'm not too sure, but I think with skinwalkers, I want to say that they actually, once they find a prey, they latch onto that prey, and they won't stop following them until they capture that prey. It was, I remember hearing that in some kind of lore, but wow, it's not good news if it's true.
Number 3 on this list is the white mask. This one is kind of similar to the last one we looked at, but instead of a pale white face, it seemed as if the creature was wearing a white mask. Ranker says, in Hunt for the Skinwalker, George Knapp and Colm Kelleher relay the stories of those who came into contact with skinwalkers near Native American tribal lands. One account from a New Mexico Highway Patrol officer states that while patrolling the highways of New Mexico, he saw a skinwalker on 2 separate occasions. In his first encounter, a creature wearing a white mask appeared next to his window, seemingly attaching itself to the car door. But then he realized it was simply running beside the vehicle, keeping pace at highway speeds. A few days later, and around the same area, he encountered the creature again. What makes this tale even more intriguing is that at least one other officer claimed to have seen the same ghoulish being while patrolling the area. Maybe it was actually a white mask that our friend saw in the previous entry instead of the white face he described. Either way, this one seems dangerous as all holy hell. To be able to run with a car going on the highway? Yeah, that is pretty far from natural, guys. I'd say that considering there were multiple witnesses here, this is probably some of the best proof we have that these creatures are legit. Number 2 on this list.
That's pretty creepy, pretty scary to just be driving along and then looking out your window, and then all of a sudden you see a white mask. And then you're just kind of watching it while it watches you. And then all of a sudden it's gone. And then you don't know where it is. That's pretty cool. If it's real.
List is No Ordinary Girl. This is a story, as you may have guessed, about a girl that probably wasn't a girl. Ranker says the tale of terror comes all the way from Australia. While walking her dogs out in the Australian bush, a woman encountered a fearful sight. She was enjoying the trail when suddenly her 2 dogs started barking uncontrollably and becoming extremely agitated. Soon she saw what appeared to be a small female child no older than 7. The child had her back to the woman, who was only a bit startled at first, as she believed the child was just part of a camping party. However, when the girl turned around, her eyes were lifeless and entirely black. Before the woman could make a break for it, the creature let out an ear-splitting howl and ran off into the bush, never to be seen again. She was left wondering if the child she saw was someone pulling a prank on her, or if it really was a shape-shifting skinwalker. She may never know. Maybe the scariest part about this one is that if this story is true, it means skinwalkers can be found outside of America. Conventional wisdom has kind of said that these creatures are only in North America, but that might not be true. If they're all the way in Australia, then they could literally be anywhere. Hopefully it was just a prank, but based on the circumstances, I kind of doubt it.
That's based on the circumstance. Well, I mean, could have been, I don't know, somebody addicted, or it could have been an alien. I mean, there's probably other things that you could think of that could, um, like, what that could be. Maybe it was a changeling. Oh, I don't know.
And finally, number 1 on this list is the Six Men. This is another story about how some type of beasts were able to keep up with a car. Ranker says, my friend's mission region had a reservation within its boundaries. However, it was relatively far from where he was serving. On one occasion, him and his mission companion were asked to travel further than usual to meet some investigators. This took them near the reservation. On their way home, their car ran out of gas, and it wasn't until late at night that they were able to continue the journey home. My friend chose a different route that took him through some back roads in an attempt to get home sooner. He told us he was driving above the speed limit when he noticed movement in the woods lining the road. Because coyotes were common in the area, he took little notice at first. Then he looked out the window and slammed on the brakes. The sudden stop jolted his companion awake, who immediately wanted to know what was wrong. My friend was shaken, and he said he would tell him once they got home. He asked him to say a prayer. By the time they made it home, his companion was dying to know what had happened. My friend told him, I looked down at the road next to the car and saw 6 men running on all fours, keeping up with the car. I was driving 40 miles an hour. 6 dudes on all fours keeping up with a car going 40 miles an hour. Usain Bolt, the fastest man of our generation, in his best race ever, reached a top speed of 27.33 miles per hour. That's the fastest man in the world, running the fastest he's ever run on 2 legs, and he still doesn't come close to touching what the car was doing. One thing is definitely clear from doing this video, guys. Skinwalkers, if they are real, are clearly fast as hell. And if one decides that it wants to target you, I don't know if you're going to be able to escape.
That was the end of that video. Oh my gosh. 6 okay, 6 creatures chasing a 40-mile-per-hour car. That car was probably screwed, unfortunately. Or maybe not. I don't know. Maybe they should have followed. Maybe they should have followed the car. I mean, either you're brave or dumb. I don't know. Because if you're not gonna be able to take on 6 creatures, it's hard to say. Good stories. Good stories. Let's move on to the next video. Is 3 ways to survive a skinwalker. So let's see how we can survive a skinwalker.
Is to survive a skinwalker. Number 1, if someone you know begins to smell like rotten meat, run. They might be a skinwalker. Number 2, if your dog comes home late at night and has 6 legs instead of 4, don't let them inside your home. And number 3, if your girlfriend or boyfriend wants to take you to Skinwalker Ranch, run. They are almost definitely a skinwalker and are taking you there to eat you. If you follow these 3 rules, you should be fine. Good luck.
Okay. All right. This is by Lighthouse Horror. I think it was more of a comedy than it was a scare. That was pretty funny, actually. All right. Let's check on the other one. This is also a short. It is the History Channel short, Proof of Skinwalkers.
May 2021, Saskatchewan, Canada. 2 female security guards are working a 12-hour night shift on a Cree First Nation reserve when they discover they are not alone. It's difficult to make out, but it appears to be a nearly translucent humanoid figure walking towards the security guards. The figure seems to blend in with the tall grass and has no identifying features. One of the most popular theories is that the security guards have had an encounter with something called a skinwalker.
In Native American folklore, and specifically in the Navajo traditions, we hear references to beings known as skinwalkers. And these are shaman or practitioners of dark magic.
In fact, in 1878, the hysteria over skinwalkers culminated in the Navajo witch purge, when 40 suspected witches were killed to restore harmony and balance to the tribe.
These skinwalkers are greatly feared by the Navajo. In fact, it is forbidden to mention the name because it is bad luck and will cause doom to those that mention that name.
May 2021, Saskatchewan.
That's really bad, actually. I mean, now people are saying it 24/7. I wonder I wonder what's going to happen after it gets said so many times. Or maybe that's why we're seeing so many of them. My fear is not quenched. I think I want to see one more video. Here we go.
This is so creepy.
Can you say hi? Say hi? No? You don't want to say hi? What was that? Where do you think you're going? What the hell?
What?
So I'm still walking this trail, and I keep hearing that same scream.
Why are you...
Definitely not a bird or some kind of animal.
Oh no.
What the hell?
It's getting
Alright, so I'm
closer.
about a half a mile down from when I first started hearing the screaming, and I don't know if you guys can tell, is getting a lot closer. Okay, so I'm way farther down the trail, and that screaming is definitely getting way louder. Hey, have you been hearing that screaming too? What is wrong with you? Oh my god!
This is so creepy.
There. Can you say hi? Say hi?
That was good.
No? You don't want to say hi?
This is so creepy.
There.
That was really good. This person caught this thing on camera. But I enjoyed that. That was a really good short. I enjoyed that a lot.
What is that noise? And where the heck is it coming from? The mystery sound was captured on a doorbell cam in Salt Lake City at 5 a.m. The baffled homeowner posted, "What is this sound? Kept me up all night. Must have been near 80 to 90 decibels, filled the entire neighborhood. Neighbors called 911. You can hear the spooky sounds in the background."
Can you hear that sound? I don't know what it is. It's the strangest sound. It's coming from up the street, and it's odd. I don't know how to describe it. Did you hear it?
I can definitely hear something.
It woke Linda Morrison in the middle of the night.
It almost sounded like a dog barking in a very rhythmical way in a sort of a muffed tone.
There were all kinds of theories.
It's like a helicopter blade that goes faster and slower, louder and softer. Listen, listen.
Others posted their guesses online. Sounds like a windmill. That is a wild mongoose mating call. You're about to be abducted. Now the mystery has been solved. Police say the noise is coming from intense winds blowing into a slack line like this. A slack line is a thin piece of nylon that's used like a tightrope. Sometimes they can catch the wind and create quite the strange sound.
Can you hear that sound?
Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Well, unfortunately, my fear is not going to be quenched today. I have seen too many videos and none of them were very scary. So I hope that you laughed with me. I hope that you enjoyed the videos. And if you want to see more from where they are, the links are down in the description of what channels they're from. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video. Maybe I'll get my fear quenched then. Bye-bye.